This is the subject itself is very close to my heart and my experience, because the other day we were discussing this very subject with the previous chairperson, Shri Durga Shankar Mishra. I had occupied, he was additional secretary in the Ministry of Urban Development. That seat I had occupied 28 years back, and that was my interest. And before that, I was here commissioner in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi for 5 years, where and commissioner for slums. So this is a very interesting subject, very much very urgent. It needs urgent attention. But because of the constraint of time, I'll be very, very brief. I'll just tell you what is wrong, what has been wrong. Not that there has been lack of effort. Effort has been going on. Mr. Jagmohan, long time back in the 70s, did a lot of good work. But we have to take lesson from that. And what is wrong with it is that we prescribe the remedy without examining the malady for which the remedy is being prescribed. And that is because of the so many 100 years of slavery. Our mindset is such that whenever a problem is posed, we immediately look to what has been done in England, what has been done in America, what has been done where? In the West. And then we apply the same thing. We adopt the same solution and do not adapt it to our conditions. Now that is the main problem. So when city planning was done, Delhi has been a big experimental ground for that. Large scale acquisition of land was done. Wonderful work done. But what remained was Western concepts. Zoning regulations, there will be only residential here, commercial somewhere else, industrial somewhere else. But the labor for industry, that human aspect was forgotten. That was at that time. Now we have got that experience, and now fortunately it is a very good thing that the present government has done, and that is to think it in a national perspective. Because this phenomenon of urbanization is going on everywhere, and we, as Mr. Pradeep Saxena has already explained, we are facing this problem. In Delhi we are facing this problem. Why have slums come up? Rural population, from rural to urban population, the agriculture is losing its jobs because of mechanization and science and technology. So all that surplus labor has to come to urban areas. Now suddenly, if you expect that the rural way of living, people who have been used for generations to rural way of life, to suddenly adopt the urban way of life, and in an unaffordable place, they can't afford a house here. So Juggi comes up, and with it all sorts of things. Let's not go into details. Here, what we need to do is a national level, because urbanization is a national phenomena, and everywhere it will be affecting in different degrees. And so we have to have an urban perspective. In that urban perspective, we have to design cities. Now there are two things. One is improve old cities. Improving old cities, existing cities, is a very, very difficult job, because in a democracy, it is not like China or Russia where an order comes from above and it is obeyed, and those who don't obey go to the Tihar jail. That is not the case here. Here, it has to come from below, bottoms up approach. So the training is to be given to the local level leaders. The municipal councillor has to know what is good in the longer time perspective for the city. Because opposition to any change comes first from him. Because he is not aware, he thinks only of today. And that too in a limited perspective, not of a broader thing. That is the people sitting here, you ladies and gentlemen, you have to impart this to our local people, to our local leadership. You have to discuss with them, you have to educate them. And then only things will improve. And as in that context, I have had occasion to study Mr. Pradeep Saksena's thing in some great detail. And I find that, he has shown that grid here for the whole country, how smart cities should be distributed in such a manner that they form a chain of economic chain, a social chain, and an academic change, all change. And then the transition from rural to urban he has dealt with beautifully, from a rural area to an urban village in between, and then to urban area. And then what is the difficulty faced? Affordability. So land, which is the most costly element, he has economized on that by going vertically up, for which technology is available to make it, tremor-proof, resilient, earthquake-resilient construction. And so, that has got another advantage. People, the workplace is so near the living place, residence, so that commuting time every day is reduced considerably. Nothing there is more than 15 minutes walk normally. And it is boon for the ladies especially. 50% of our population ladies, their talent is not, they are not able to utilize their talent fully because they need to look after children remaining at home, and then they are idle. So he has provided, it has been provided workplace within that multi-story high-rise complex, with whole floors have been reserved for them. And then for controlling pollution, urban pollution, you see, forest belt is there, and within that belt schools and small things are there very near the residences. So they can look after the children. Children don't have to go very far off from nursery, primary and other schools, etc. And communication becomes so easy. So all these things have to be now taken for this thing, into consideration. And if this program, well-considered program, goes through, I think our cities will become really dynamos of economic progress and social harmony, with less crime, because the slums and other things, deprived localities, they breed crime. So all these things are connected with this. This today has been a very important session, and I hope the lessons learned will be disseminated across. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.